Clearwater,
FM 106.1,
WDCF Dade City,
FM 102.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Democratic lawmakers are criticizing the Trump administration's handling of Charlie Kirk's killing. Senator Chuck Schumer.
One of the great hallmarks of our country is free speech, whether you agree or disagree. And this administration is trying to snuff it out. They don't want people to even speak when they don't like what they say.
And Democrat Ro Khanna has introduced a motion to subpoena FCC Chair Brendan Carr to appear before the House Oversight Committee.
This administration has initiated the largest assault on the First Amendment and free speech in modern history. They're making comedy illegal. Brendan Carr pressured ABC to cancel Jimmy Kimmel, and Disney cancels Jimmy Kimmel.
President Trump is returning from Britain, wrapping up the state visit with a press conference that included Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Trump said he wants to reclaim a massive military base in Afghanistan, Bagram, that was evacuated and taken over by the Taliban.
One of the biggest air bases in the world. We gave it to them for nothing. We're trying to get it back, by the way. Okay, that could be a little breaking news. We're trying to get it back.
CBS's Natalie Brand.
The leaders also discussed Russia's war on Ukraine as the U.S. and European allies try to put pressure on Russian President Vladimir Putin to end the fighting.
He's let me down. He's really let me down.
As for the war between Israel and Hamas, President Trump was asked about the prime minister's support recognizing a Palestinian state unless Israel met certain conditions.
I have a disagreement with the prime minister on that score.
Trump has asked the Supreme Court to allow him to fire Fed Governor Lisa Cook. CBS's Kelly O'Grady on what happens if he's successful.
There would be one more person in the room that the president would get to appoint. His most recent appointee, Stephen Myron, who just replaced Adriana Kugler, who stepped down recently, voted for a half-point rate cut, more along the lines of what the president was looking to see.
The World Health Organization said today it backs Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy's push for more focus on chronic disease prevention. Jim Krasula reports.
Progress in the fight against non-communicable diseases like heart disease and cancer, which are the leading causes of death globally, has slowed. That's according to a new report from the World Health Organization. The WHO estimates that heart disease and cancer kill 43 million people worldwide every year.
Shares in chipmaker Intel skyrocketed today after AI giant NVIDIA said it would invest $5 billion in the struggling rival. On Wall Street, stocks are higher. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, you new to the area or just want to know about the best hidden gems and upcoming events? Stay tuned. Be Local Buzz with Devin takes you to these places, introduces you to the best businesses, and tells you about upcoming buzz. Preset your radio to TAN Talk 1340 AM or 106.1 FM every Thursday from 4 to 5. That is the Be Local Buzz with Devin on TAN Talk 1340 AM and 106 FM every Thursday from 4 to 5. Looking forward to speaking with you.
Hi, I'm Dawn Reese with The Dawn Reese Show, most powerful names in entertainment, every Thursday at 5 p.m. I have so many different segments I'm so excited to share with you, from miracle stories to celebrity interviews with Hollywood connections to travel to local business, promoting your business on the air with me, an amazing opportunity to grow your business. Tune in to the TAN Talk Radio Network, 106.1 FM on Thursdays, 5 p.m. with me, Dawn Reese.
Hi there, I'm Robin Savage, stand-up comic. Are you sick of the news getting pushed around by two sides, always saying the other side is wrong? You deserve to enjoy the news.
That's what's up, Robin. I'm your host, Mac James, from Stand Up for News. We're stand-up comics, and we tell the news. The news doesn't have any legs and can't stand up for its own self. Join us and special guests like local hero comics like Donnie Stopa, all the way to legends like Tommy Chong, here on WTAN Radio.
Every Thursday night from 6 to 8 p.m.
Pan-Hellenic News, on air live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. at 106.1 FM. Pan-Hellenic News, radio program from the Pan-Hellenic Federation of Florida. Wednesday at 4 p.m. Greek news, entertainment, and culture.
Yana, chillito na linis mo. Minutes ito misman. Stay tuned.
This is Paul Porter, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, inviting you to join me and Jason Alessi for the home team every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. here on the Tan Talk Radio Network and Facebook Live, the home team with Paul Porter. Special guests, prizes, and your phone calls about the Bucs, Lightning, Rays, USF, Sun, FSU, Florida, and more. Talk to you this Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Caregivers find the support they need on Connecting Caregivers Radio with Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregiver. Heard every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m., Linda and her caring and knowledgeable guests will bring you education, information, and resources, as well as a shoulder for caregivers. That's Connecting Caregivers Radio with Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregiver, where you can find help and hope every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Tampa Bay's Tan Talk, entertaining and informative radio for the Sunshine State.
Stay right there. The Shrink and Wrap show starts right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Christy Dignam. This song means so much to me. This man, right here. All help. How can I protect you in this crazy world? It's alright, yeah, it's alright. I have fallen down so many times. Don't know why, don't know where, don't care, it's all the same. I have traveled through so many times. Don't know why, don't know where, don't care, it's all the same. Oh, come on, let me hear you. So how can I protect you in this crazy world? It's alright, yeah, it's alright. Can you hear the sound of laughter? Nothing's right, nothing's wrong. Don't care less, it's all the same. Love is blind, love is real. Don't you know that love is what you feel? It's alright, yeah, it's alright. Come on, oh. So how can I protect you in this crazy world?
And hello out there. And how can we protect you from this crazy world? You're listening to the Shrink and Wrap Show right here, live in Clearwater, Florida. And we welcome you. This is your community station. And this is where we all come together to have a great community. And today we've got a lot of good topics. So don't change that dial. You're on 106.1. Thank you for listening in advance. So I have my guest and my entertainment host, Renee around Tampa Bay. Hello, Renee.
Hello, Tracy. Hello, everyone.
Hey, hello, everyone out there. We've got people from St. Pete, Dunedin, Newport Richey, Tampa, Brandon, Clearwater,
Pasco.
And that is all our community. And yes. I got to tell you something. I am proud to live in my community.
I 100% agree with you. After the world that we're in right now, this is
a crazy world.
And we are living in a great community. Absolutely.
And hopefully, and by the way, crazy world, 30 seconds to tell me who sings that.
Can't tell you. I've heard it before. No.
So last week I played Crazy World at the end, but we only had like 5 seconds at the end because it rushed, because I always rush you. I'm
Yes,
so sorry.
that's okay.
You know how it is.
I
Then
know
I
how it
give you,
is.
I let you make up for airtime. I always bring you back on. I give you some space for all that. But that was from the script. And I think that's such a wonderful song because it's, you know, someone else feels this way too. A lot of people feel it's a crazy world, but we all need to come together. And my show here, I'm your host, Tracy, by the way, and I created the show like probably 2 to 3 years ago, created an outline of what is love. And I've asked people in the community, my friendships and all that, to come on and let's find out what love is in a balance of give and take and understanding. I don't interview them or anything like that. I've had 3 years almost of people coming on and just coming on. It's been sponsored by Love and Friendship.
Absolutely.
So I just want to give a shout out to our community because I hope that our community, after the hurricanes and all the crazy stuff, that we can be an example in the world of just coming together.
In the world of craziness right now.
Yeah. It starts somewhere. It starts with a seed of positivity. So anyway, with that being said, I love that song. And today's show, what we do here on the show is I have licensed therapists who give their suggestions and opinions. And Roween has pretty much been our licensed therapist.
Yes, she has.
And
She's
thank
done
you,
a great
Roween.
job.
She has.
She really has.
She's here every week and she offers suggestions and opinions to all of you out there that are listening. And, you know, and again, this is entertainment too. So just realize that our intent here is just to lift everybody up through lyrics in songs. And with my raps, like Renee and all my raps that come on the show are our friends, and we usually have a point of view and then the opinion of a licensed therapist. And we tie it all together and try to figure the world out, right?
It's great.
Yeah. So that was Crazy World by the Script. And I love that. So if you're listening to the Shrink and Wrap Show, we're just here, like I said, to lift you up because everybody matters. You matter out there. And we are going to be talking about anxiety today and how to manage anxiety.
Especially when you're driving across the bridge.
Well, and in every
Just
way.
kidding.
And there's different types of anxiety.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of times people feel like they're alone. And when you realize that someone else has anxiety too, then you're like, oh, well, you share
A commonality and you can weather through some of the anxiety by just speaking. And that is a great point for Roween to explain to us how to manage that so it doesn't get out of control.
Right. It's nice to know you're not alone and there's so much help. So there's no reason to suffer through it.
That's right.
And I think a lot of people have anxiety for different reasons right now. I have anxiety about the weather. I was like watching that storm out there. I'm like, oh, I hope it just turns to the, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So PTSD from last year's season that our community went through was a lot. So I think a lot of people are stressing out about that too. So again, this show, the Shrink and Wrap shows on 106.1 FM Tan Talk Radio. We are here just to bring people together and to lift you up and to let you know that you are not alone. And we're also here. It is, again, suggestions and opinions and entertainment. I'd like to thank my sponsor and for all my friends and the community that has come on. Thank you for coming on to making us whole here at Tan Talk Radio. So with that being said, maybe we should switch over. I want to let everybody know too, by the way, when we speak of anxiety, you know, I have we have the Shrink reality segment with the Shrink. And then I have a main song that talks a little bit about what we talked about. So listen to the lyrics of the songs if you're listening to the show.
I agree because music brings everybody together and there's a song for every situation that you might feel. Somebody else has already felt it.
Yeah, and you're going to hear some from big artists today.
Oh, I know.
You're going to hear from some big artists today. I'm so glad you said that. But when you listen to the lyrics and whatever your meaning is, your meaning might be different than my meaning.
Sure.
You know? But it unlocks, I think, a lot of anxiety and unlocks answers in your soul that you're not even aware of. So we love the lyrics. And I am going to hopefully play introduce you to some music that will help with anxiety. There's certain tunes that can help with that as well. And then we're going to have our nonprofit segment with Trish. We're going to be calling her, as well as we have a land escape expert. And I'll tell you about that in our community.
Expert?
But it's called Land Escape. So I think that's good to have an escape with anxiety. So Daniel, he's going to be on after our nonprofit segment talking about what you should be planting. And you love planting.
Oh, I love planting.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I even bought you a little water pot
yeah,
for your
birthday.
birthday.
You did. And
I know it's a little boring, but I know you like that. Well,
but you know, I didn't have one.
Yeah.
Like a little one like that.
I know. So anyway, so you have a little anxiety, you go out there and do your plants, right?
That's right.
So, and then we have Renee at the end to tell us what's going around around Tampa Bay. So it's a balance of love. It's a balance of happiness to make our community better and to be an example in the world. And that's what I really hope for. That's all I got. So anyway, DJ Mike, can we listen to our Loosen Up song before I get into today's topic? Listen to the lyrics.
All day, staring at the ceiling, making friends with shadows on my wall. All night, hearing voices telling me that I should get some sleep, because tomorrow might be good for something. Hold on, feeling like I'm headed for a breakdown, and I don't know why, but I'm not crazy, I'm just a little unwell. I know right now you can't tell, but stay a while and maybe then you'll see a different side of me. I'm not crazy, I'm just a little impaired. I know right now you don't care, but soon enough you're gonna think of me and how I used to be me. And talking to myself in public and dodging glances on the train.
And that was Unwell by Matchbox 20.
I knew that
which
one.
is Rob Thomas.
Yes.
So can you guess why I played that song? Or why I
Unwell?
picked it? Yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's very self-explanatory. I think he was feeling a little unwell with the situation that he was going through at that moment.
Right. Well, it says right here, according to Google and AI and all that, my notes here, it says Matchbox 20's Unwell is primarily about the struggles with mental health, anxiety, and panic attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And from the stuff that I read, it says I think he himself went through some of this.
I think he did.
So-
I remember reading something about that.
Yeah, so the lyrics are pretty self-explanatory. So of his struggles, and if you'd like to know more, read more about that. But guess what? You're not alone. So this is a great song.
It's a great song.
And there's so much help out there. And here to help us today on the Shrink and Wrap Show is hopefully Roween. Roween, are you on the line?
I am. Hello.
Hi there. How are you doing today?
I'm okay. Having a little anxiety myself, but I'm going to be fine.
So this song might be good.
See?
Today's a little unwell. You're a little unwell, but we're going to get through this together. And you're here today to talk a little bit about anxiety. And and also, Roween, last week we were talking about, by the way, look at the good in what you have to offer in life too. That was last week's show. And I want to thank you for that, because I think it's very, very important that people focus on the positive things that you have to offer to society, to yourself, to your family. So a lot of times we talk about these little private things we have in our head. And today it's going to be about anxiety disorders. And experiencing occasional anxiety is a normal part of life. But when people, however, people with anxiety disorders frequently have intense and persistent worry and fear about everyday situations, it can definitely affect their everyday life. And I'm going to let you take over from there. And you're the expert. And let us know a little bit about anxiety, because I think a lot of people suffer from that, especially in today's world.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with what you said about anxiety is a perfectly normal emotion. Everyone feels it. It happens when we perceive a threat, when we're uncertain, or when something stressful happens. Last Friday, my air handler in my attic caught on fire, my AC air handler. But before I realized it was the AC handler that had caught on fire, even then I had stress after I knew it, but I have a lot of anxiety about where the smell was coming from, the smoke and the smell. So sometimes anxiety is a warning symbol for us to take a look, see what's going on. Sometimes it activates our fight or flight. It can be a very normal safety response to situations that we don't know what's going on. to uncertainty and that we don't know what's going to happen. But when it crosses over from being situational to being a regular daily kind of issue for you, sometimes it's anticipatory work. We often say that anxiety is worry about the future. Anxiety has to do with the uncertainty of what's going to happen, whether it's the next 5 minutes or the next 5 years, and can lead to excessive worry, the rumination, restlessness, some difficulty relaxing. But primarily it's about fear of losing control and not being able to handle whatever situation is going to crop up. And that can be situational. It doesn't have to be a long-term issue. But when in hurricane season, when we know there's a hurricane looming, the whole community becomes anxious about how that's going to happen. When we hear about extensive political unrest and things that happen in our country, we can experience collective anxiety about what the future brings. And it can then go to a third level in what we call becomes an anxiety disorder, which is a generalized anxiety about everything, daily living, daily functioning, and does impair the daily functioning. The key for any of it is that it is all based in fear. And when we give in to those feelings of fear, they multiply.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So it's really important to use our self-talk to remind ourselves of what we've already accomplished and that we do know how to handle situations. We might not like them, like our friends, the hurricanes. We might not like them, but we can handle it. Whatever comes up, we have the resources to handle it and take care of it. And so it's really important to remind yourself that you have choice and you have the ability to get through whatever happens, whether you want it to happen, whether you like it or not. You still have the resources and the ability to get through it. And that minimizes the fear. I don't know, it's been a while since we talked about it, but fear can stand for false evidence appearing real. That means we make up stories and we believe them, and then begin to act as if they are real. And then that brings about often the very thing we're afraid of.
More anxiety.
Yeah. Really important to talk ourselves out of the anxiety, to not give in to those feelings of fear that are causing the anxiety. And one of the ways we do that is by remembering, as you just said, Tracy, the good we contribute in lots of other areas and where we are capable in many other areas. With my air handler, I had no idea how to deal with a fire in my AC handler, but I did have resources of people who call who would know about it and would be able to support in that process. So we all have some sort of resources around us. And there are places we can call to get further resources. The primary thing to know is that when we move into anxiety, it releases cortisol in our body.
Mm-hmm.
And cortisol is actually toxic to our body when there's not a real threat, when we don't have to fight or flight, when it's a threat that we imagine could happen, but it's not happening in the moment, then the cortisol becomes toxic to our body. It makes us hold on to abdominal fat as a means of protection. It's the body's natural armor to put on those layers of fat. So the cortisol holds that onto your body. It also causes challenges with heart, lungs, and arteries and veins because of how they react to the idea that we're going to have to engage to save our lives. So it's really important to have support people, to have support mantras, things we tell ourselves, remind ourselves about the good, and good community around us.
Do you think, Rowan, that some of the anxiety that people can have is a chemical predisposition from their past, from their experience from family, or passed down through a chemical imbalance?
Anxiety is not necessarily chemically passed down. It is environmentally passed down. As we see our parents when we're very small children, see our parents in those anxiety situations, then we learn that how you handle challenging situations is by being anxious. If you have trauma in your life at any point, that certainly can trigger anxiety.
And what about like what's happening in the world around us right now and all this crazy stuff that happened the last week, and all these young kids on campus trying to sieve through what just transpired, the anxiety that's coming from that?
Right. That's the collective cultural anxiety, and anxiety has energy to it.
Mm-hmm.
And we put that energy out into the world, and our body with mirror neurons that I'd mentioned before takes in that anxiety. So, and then translates it into information for our survival.
Absolutely.
And so grounding in your value system and your beliefs, grounding in your community so you know you have support, and reminding yourself that it is part of the collective energy right now. It may not necessarily be something that you have started in your body. It may be coming in through the mirror neuron.
Yeah. So I just wanted to know, if you start feeling this anxiety, can you self-talk? Can you teach yourself to mental toughness? I guess that's a word. Can you overcome it through regular routine of manifestation or mental toughness, where you do a routine and you go, okay, I see it coming on, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z?
Yes, you can. Certainly breathing, square breathing, we've talked about many times.
That's definitely a good one.
Controlled breathing of any kind tells your amygdala, which is the part of your brain where anxiety comes from, that you are safe. And that then lowers your feelings of anxiety. You can take a cold shower. The cold water interrupts the vagus nerve, which is part of our survival system, and resets it to a place of calmness.
And I also think, do you think that working out just a little bit, and I don't mean in a strenuous way, but going outside, taking a walk, or a run, or for me, calling your best friend and hashing it out, does that help?
It does if the best friend is grounded and doesn't get on the fear bandwagon with you. and the anxiety bandwagon with you.
That's
That's not helpful.
Yeah, sometimes it can manifest worse when you're both.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Talking to a friend who is also anxious and not be very good sometimes.
You know what, Rowene, also, it says too, and I appreciate you bringing all that to the table, Renee, because I do think that once you figure that you have possibly a disorder, when you know it's coming on, then you can shift your focus into other things. And one of the things, like you all just mentioned, Renee mentioned exercise and square breathing, but also being at the radio show here, it says music can be a powerful tool for reducing anxiety and promoting relaxation. And I was going to ask DJ Mike, can you play the one song that I found for this segment? It's by Keith Smith. Let's just take a minute and square breathe, if you don't mind. Breathe in, breathe out. So that was just a little snippet of Sleep Easy, Relax, and that was by Keith Smith. And I think sometimes going for a walk, breathing, and Renee and I, we went to the beach last week and they were doing yoga on the beach and they were doing the sound bowls.
They were doing the sound bowls.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so interesting because as far away as we were, we actually could hear it.
Yeah.
And it really was kind of like listening to the waves at the ocean. It was relaxing.
Right. And I think those are things, once you realize you get anxiety, maybe you can shift your focus and go breathe. But they do say 90% of things you worry about don't happen. But some people, like you said earlier, you mentioned the environmental anxiety. That's a very real thing too. And what's going on in our world right now, environmental anxiety, how do you define that?
I define environmental anxiety as two different micro and macro. Micro is in your home, your parents, your grandparents, people, your siblings. When they are anxious, and that is the way you see them handle issues going on, anxiety from that direction. And from the macro level, it's what I was talking about, what's going on in our culture and in our society. Because everything is made out of energy, and the energy goes out from us and from everyone else, and then our mirror neurons take it back in for information for our safety. And so it's important to recognize when your body starts feeling that. It can be nausea. It can feel like nausea. It can sometimes feel like lightheadedness. It can feel like tightness in your neck and shoulders. There are a lot of different ways that our bodies tell us we're feeling anxious. Short breathing, not deep breathing, breathing only in the top lobes of our lungs. That's one of the first things we get anxious.
Can I say something on that note? Yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I want on the exercise part. I think a lot of times people only get half breaths, and I think that's why exercise makes you, or doing what you're saying, the squared breathing, because the oxygen, you need it throughout your whole body. So really, I think sometimes it's just based on your breathing. I mean, like when you breathe deep, because when you're not breathing, right? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm trying to work on that, but
no,
yeah.
Because the short breathing is the thing that tells you your amygdala and the cortisol have been engaged. And deep breathing is the thing that sends the message to your amygdala that you're safe and you don't need the cortisol.
Right.
That's why running I just read some research that if you can run for exactly 22 minutes,
Yes, it's true.
no more, 22 minutes, then you release the endocannabinoids in your brain, and that gives you what's called the runner's high.
And that's what I call the
interesting.
endorphins. That's why I said you
For
can.
many years ever, we've been told it's endorphins.
Yeah.
But it's our own endocannabinoid system releasing its own form of THC into our brain.
And it feels great.
Yeah. I didn't
And
know it was
that's
22 minutes. So it's a run for 22 minutes. So
or more, but
22 minutes.
at least
Yeah.
22 minutes.
3 minutes, cortisol gets released.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the history of humans, the only time we ran was when we were being chased.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So 22 minutes is the maximum amount of time to run before cortisol is released into your system.
But is that terrible if you go past it and you do release cortisol? Because
well, then you feel like you can't breathe because
No,
if you go
but I
past
think-
it, you're like, then you're out of breath and you're
No,
back to
yeah,
sleep.
well, you're right. You don't get out of breath, then you don't release those toxins in your system, which is anxiety.
Yeah,
basically.
but that's great information. I think everyone's going to be out running on the way home. We're going to see everybody running. But no, I love that you shared that because it's just another natural way. But we're getting down already. I got about 2 minutes with you, Roween. But for prevention, getting help early, staying active, and avoid alcohol and drug use, and really calling out a life coach or a therapist is really, so you can talk to somebody and they can help you, but you're not alone out there. A lot of people have anxiety and there's different anxiety disorders. What's your closing statement on today's topic?
My closing statement is if you are feeling like you can't regulate it yourself, then definitely talk to a therapist or a life coach. Many of doctors run straight to the benzodiazepines, the Xanax,
and it's just
Ativan, all of the different things, and that manages the symptoms but doesn't take care of the problem.
You still have to work on the problem. You don't want to mask it. While if you are diagnosed with something, you do take medicine, you still have to work on the problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what you're saying, I think. I mean, I'm not a therapist. I'm
to the point where you can eventually wean off of that and not have to lean on it so hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and journaling too is really healthy. I see here. I say journaling, writing down, like when you have that anxiety, just write it down, go back and read it. Yeah, I think that helps too. But Roween, where can everyone get in touch with you if they would like to talk more about anxiety or have someone to talk to as a life coach or therapist? Can you give out your phone number?
You can get in touch with me at 813-857-2401.
Roween, thank you so much. You know what? I might have to talk to Lola about having an extra hour on the show. Maybe a 2-hour show because there's not enough time.
That is
we can
really
always do part
interesting.
2. Next week, Roween, can you come back next week? I'm trying to get a dentist on to talk about anxiety and going to the dental office.
Oh, boy.
So I'd like to have your point of view and your professional point of view, and then have the dentist come in for those that have fear and anxiety for going in to take care of their teeth, which is a very important thing, right?
That is anxiety right there.
Can we get you back next week for some more
Just
talk
the
on
thought
anxiety?
of it.
Absolutely. You guys have a wonderful week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roween.
Yeah. Thank you as always for your time, Roween. You're wonderful. Thank you. Okay, with that being said, I like to switch over to our main song. I love the song. Listen to the lyrics. You're listening to the Shrink and Wrap Show right here in Tan Talk Radio 106.1. Let's listen to the lyrics of this next main song.
You can get lost in the music for hours, honey. You can get lost in a room. We can play music for hours and hours, but the sun will still be coming up soon. The world's just spinning a little too fast. If things don't slow down soon, we might not last. So just for a moment, let's be get lost in the music for hours, honey. You can get lost in the room. We can play music for hours and hours, but the sun will still be coming up soon. The world's not forgiving of everyone's fears. The days turn into months, the months turn into years. So just for a moment, let's be still.
And I found that song this morning and I absolutely loved it. I think I'm definitely going to put this on my playlist. Sometimes it's good just to be still. And if you're spiritual, it's be still and know that I am. And whatever you may be, let's just be still and calm down and let things settle so we can think.
Before we react.
Before reacting and your anxiety too, just in life.
It will lower your anxiety.
I love this song. I think it's really good. And I love the title of this group. I've never heard this song, but I think it's good. It's because it calms you down just in a moment, just to kind of like, you don't want to react to your emotions, right?
Right.
You're right. So, but it's this group is called The Head and the Heart.
Oh, I've never heard of them.
I love that because it's the head and the heart. Because sometimes you react.
Right, you react.
So I think with a little bit of both. But I absolutely love that song. I was excited.
That was a great song. How did you find that?
I just did my homework. I was doing homework. I did good. I like that one. So let's be
music
still.
therapy.
Music therapy. There you go. So again, you're listening to the Shrink and Wrap Show right here at TAN Talk Radio at 106.1. And do we have Trish on the line? Trish,
hello.
How are you doing,
Trish.
lady?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. We missed you here today. Renee thought you were going to be here. And she's like, well, where's the group? I said, you couldn't make it in.
She's here every week.
Yeah.
I know. Sorry about that. I wish I was there, but I'm enjoying listening to you guys. And I'm so glad that Rowene has told me I only have to do my cardio for 22 minutes.
Me too, right, Trish? I said the same thing. There's no way.
Yeah.
I just got more time in my day.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you,
right.
Rowene.
That was really interesting. And if you overwork out,
Yes.
you can't breathe, and that can create other issues.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it. 22 minutes. I love it.
Yes. Well, tell us what's going on in the nonprofit topics.
Yes. Okay. So Saturday, September 27th, this event is called the Big Gala, and it's benefiting Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Tampa Bay. Sister Hazel is going to be there, so there's your music therapy.
That's good.
And it's at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Tampa. BBBS, that's Big Brothers, Big Sisters, TampaBay.org for more information on that.
And a great cause. About 10 years ago, Shannon and her group played at Big Brothers, Big Sisters Gala at the Shriners community, and it was amazing. It was such a huge show up.
Okay, everybody go get your tickets.
Yeah.
October 3rd, Dishes and Wishes benefiting the Make-A-Wish Foundation. That's at Armature Works. You can sample some tastings from Tampa Bay's finest restaurants. Again, they're going to have music, auction, open bar. That's at disesandwishestampa.com.
Nice.
And then Saturday, October 4th, Echoes of the Wild is having their first annual gala for the Owl's Nest Sanctuary for Wildlife.
Aww.
Tracy, does that sound familiar to you?
Yes, it does.
That's where I took the baby bird that I found.
That's so sweet.
so
I'm so
funny.
glad you are giving them a shout out for sure.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, you know that.
I got to tell you this. Yesterday, I looked up, I heard this racket out my window, like crazy screaming. And I look out and there's a bunch of crows in this tree and they're jumping on top of one another after a baby possum. They were screaming at it, blood curdling. And you know what? They say that possums don't come out in the day unless they're sick.
Right.
Right?
Oh,
so
quite
now they're
awesome.
attacking them. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? I'm banging on the window.
Well, now
Anyway,
you know.
run
She
out
gave
there
you a
with the
contact.
broom.
She just gave you a contact.
But I was so far up, I couldn't go out with the broom. I'm banging on the window next to them.
Well, I love that you're sharing that and giving them a shout out. So
Yeah, and then let me tell you a little bit more about that. So everybody gets their tickets. It's a night of fun and fundraising, and it's at the Italian Club of Tampa. There'll be music, food, drinks, and wildlife ambassadors from the sanctuary there that you can talk to and meet.
Nice.
So your attendance will make a difference in the lives of our local wildlife. You can buy single tickets, an entire table, or donate items for their silent auction if you'd like to help out. And that's gala at Owl's Nest and sanctuaryforwildlife.org or eventbrite.com.
Nice. Very nice. You have any more for us? Any more nonprofits?
Sure. The
time for-
Clearwater Marine Aquarium is offering a savings of $10 per ticket Monday through Friday through November 21st for Florida families. You can book now and dive into your fun. That's cmaquarium.org. Okay. You want me to keep going, or are we running out of time?
We have time for one more because I have another guest. Daniel's waiting, and I have one little announcement. Yeah, so one more.
Okay, one more. October 25th, mark your calendars. It's the St. Pete Dog Parade. You can register your pup to join the parade, and you receive a free St. Pete Pier bandana. You can dress your dog in their best costume and compete for prizes. Guests are encouraged to bring pet food donations for their pet food drive, and that benefits Friends of Strays in St. Pete. And that's www.stpetedogparade.com.
That is so great. Let me tell you something. There is some funny costumes.
Yeah.
Right now, I got one doing trick or treating right here. Look at her. Look at this.
That is the funniest.
Lola's talk. Okay, thank you so much for that, Trish. I'm going to swing it over to Devin. She's here too to talk about her events in Clearwater. So thank you for that. Hopefully, we'll see you back here soon, and I'll be talking to you soon. Thank you for all that information to our listeners out there.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And again, you're listening to the Shrink and Wrap Show right here on 106.1. And we've got Devin as a guest on, and she follows my show right after this. So stay tuned. But she is our nonprofit connection over here, 813-727. What event do you have coming on that you'd like to share with us?
Thank you so much for having us. I'm the founder of Raising Relief Foundation. And what we do is we seek out crises in the community, and we actually help all societal issues. So a lot of the nonprofits that she has been mentioning, we have supported them through the years, and we help other nonprofits and also people in crisis. But the exciting thing is it's our annual Denim and Diamonds Gala, and it is November 15th at the Sheraton Sand Key. And do not miss out and get your tickets now. We just had a meeting and they're going fast. So at least contact us so we can at least reserve your spot, but go to raisingrelieffoundation.org, get your tickets. You don't want to miss this. It's a fun, and you wouldn't believe the auction and the trips, and I just can't even tell you the exciting things that we have going on there. It's not only a blast, and you can dress up or you can dress down. That's what Denim and Diamonds is. You can bling it up, or you could just wear a pair of jeans. But whatever it is, we all about having fun while saving lives in our community. So again, raisingrelieffoundation.org, November 15th at the Sheraton Sand Key in Sand Key, obviously. And that is for Raising Relief Foundation, Denim and Diamonds. So thank you.
And I've been, and that's a fabulous event. What I love for our listeners is that they can go and enjoy, but at the same time give back. And I love that. It's a way to meet people. You feel good. So thank you so much. Well, I went there that one year. It was amazing.
I hope you're going this year.
And you know what I love too is
we
that
should get a table.
You had a table of people that we've lost through some of these. And I thought that was very, very.
Don't tell my secrets.
I know, but silence speaks volumes.
Yeah, we have an
event.
empty table to honor those that we have lost through crises in our community.
Oh, it spoke volumes to me, and that was a wonderful thing that you did.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a great
all right, so
event.
we'll see you again in your Denim and Diamond this year.
Yes.
All right,
November
you
15th.
too.
Yeah, we got to get our table.
We do have to get our table.
Thank you. Okay, well, we're talking about anxiety, but things to kind of shift your focus. But now we're going to have a land escape, and it's Daniel on the phone.
Hey, how you doing, Tracy?
Hi, Daniel. I'm sorry to have you. Were you on hold for long?
No, not at all.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, Daniel, you have been selected. You are in our community spotlight for one of the best services in Tampa Bay, from a lot of compliments from many, many people. So you are in the spotlight. Daniel is not paying for this segment. My community spotlight are those that are recognized in the community for the hard work and what they do for services, and someone that we can honestly refer you to. Now, just because other people had great experiences, you're on your own, but I'm just saying this is definitely a great reference. So Daniel, All right. Tell us, thank you for being on the Shrink and Wrap Show. Tell us, what are the biggest mistakes that homeowners make when it comes to landscaping, and how can they avoid them?
Tracy, I would definitely say plant selection and placement.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to, putting things around your house, over time, they will either get way too big or they will cause issues with growing into the gutters, crowding the roof. And with the selection, it's kind of, if you're not a gardener, there's a lot of plants that actually require a lot of maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, hydrangeas are a good example. They're gorgeous, but they just take a lot of care.
Yep.
And that's really the two main things, just thinking forward and how are you going to take care of anything that you put at your house.
Mm-hmm. And then, Daniel, what is the best time of year to install new plants or sod at your home? And we're talking here in Florida, right? In Tampa, because sometimes it could be a little different in South Florida. But what about here in the Bay Area? What about what's the best time of year to install new plants or sod?
I mean, plants really anytime. You do have to be cautious. Obviously, if it drops below, 35, 34 degrees,
Mm-hmm.
we get these cold fronts. Usually, though, if it's a new plant, you can wrap it. It'll be fine. And sod, generally anytime, but preferably the best time is probably from October to about April.
Mm-hmm.
Just because the heat and all the water you have to put on it, it promotes fungus growth. So, but either you can do them anytime, but those are probably the things to watch out for.
And that's so good that's where your knowledge comes in. What is your background? You've been doing this for a long time, but you went and learned more about all these plants and stuff, because sometimes you can go buy a plant from anyone. But what makes you different, Daniel?
So I mean, I have dug into. I did take some courses through FNGLA. So technically, I'm a certified horticultural professional.
There you go.
And it's just basically care of plants, maintenance of plants, and just kind of picking the right thing for the right areas.
I have
Generally,
a quick
I mean,
question. I do have a question, since I'm sorry to interrupt, because I know that she's going to hurry us up here in a minute. I want to know, what is a good water resistant plant, like where you get a lot of water sitting, or is there such a thing?
I mean, everything requires water. The more tropical you go with your selection, the more water generally it's going to need.
Like if you have a lot of water puddling in the area and you don't, it's killing the plant basically.
Mm-hmm.
So what is a good water thriving plant?
I mean, so bamboo's the best. Obviously that can come with, it has to be placed in the right area, but bamboo could pretty much grow. I mean, it could take as much water as you can get it, but generally rule of thumb is most plants like well-draining soil. So if you have areas that are constantly, there's water logged and the area is not draining, getting a draining solution would probably be the best for that. But yeah, typically, I mean, everything doesn't like to, because you'll get root rot.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, and that was a very good question. So thank you, thank you for that. So Daniel, when should a homeowner consider hiring a professional landscaper versus doing the work themselves?
I mean, generally, it just depends on the homeowner's capability. Because obviously, you need a bunch of tools, a truck, a trailer, and obviously, if you're not acclimated to the heat or doing labor, it's one of those things. If you're going to freshen it up for a party, you need to get 20 bags from Lowe's of mulch and put it down. I would say you could do it yourself. But if you're having more of a bigger project, the main thing is that you want to make sure all your irrigation is hitting all the areas appropriately, that you're not overcrowding an area, or you're not, if you have a dog or something like that, there's some plants that are actually, if the dogs eat the leaves, it's actually slightly poisonous. So just having that knowledge, but mainly it's capability.
And you also do irrigation a little bit too. You can check all the irrigation before you put the plants in the sod to make sure you do that as well for the homeowner, right?
Yes.
Or have a contact. So I'm going to whip through these, because I've got Renee's going to have to probably do a minute here, and then I've got a closing statement. But what are some affordable, high impact projects that can, did I just ask that? To improve a home's curb appeal?
I mean, really, if you just trim any shrubs you have, you de-weed your property, and you add some mulch, I mean, it's going to be it's going to make a drastic change for the least amount of money.
Right. And then some tips choosing the right plants, like what Renee just was talking about, right plants for your home's landscaping.
Yeah, just understanding the region you live in, the weather, the fluctuations, and really the plant selection on what you want to maintain. Or, because the more stuff you have with care that you plant, you're going to either have to talk with your landscaper or know that yourself that you're going to have to put in more work and care into maintaining the shrub's health.
Right. And 2 more questions real quick, if we can do this in 45 seconds or less. While preparing for potential storms, what should be the first thing to consider?
Definitely trees.
Okay.
Just noticing health of trees around your house.
Mm-hmm.
And just being proactive about it beforehand, seeing if there's anything over a structure, should I have that removed? Things like that. But Milton was probably the biggest wake-up call for everybody with that.
Oh, yeah. And we'll have to talk another time about trees leaning on someone else's property. That's a whole nother topic. But okay, what options do you have to resolve a drainage issue in your yard?
If you have a gutter system on your house, you can have a downspout system, obviously where the drain attached to the downspouts and you get the water away from the foundation. But French drains or gravity drain systems also work very, very well. French drains are the best, but obviously they're the most expensive because the amount of labor and rock and materials required.
Well, that's good to know, Daniel. You've got a 5-star rating in our community. And this is Daniel from Land Escape, which is perfect for those that have anxiety. You want to get out and do square breathing. But Daniel, give them your information, please, before your phone number to reach you.
Yeah, my cell number is 813-802-9962.
Okay.
And my email address is Daniel Reagan. It's DanielRagan.landescape@gmail.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We've got 4 minutes left, and Renee's going to do
Daniel.
our, we have 3 minutes left. You got like 45 seconds.
So
thank you, Daniel.
And I'm here.
Yes,
and I
you're
got 45
here. Yes,
seconds.
that's
So
right.
guys, if y'all love the Rays, this will be the last weekend to catch the Rays. It's the end of their season game. They have a 3-day series with the Sox at Steinbrenner Stadium, and you could get tickets on Ticketmaster.com or look up the Rays, TampaBayRays.com. There's a festival. I think it's well worth the mention. September 19th to the 21st, Mid-Autumn Music and Food Festival at Curtis Hickson Park. It's a 3-day food, music, cultural performers, and there's over 100 vendors. You can get tickets at eventbrite.com. At the Benchmark International, we have Emmanuel, they call him Annual AA. He's a singer, songwriter, rapper. He'll be at the Benchmark Sunday, September 21. That's the Emily Arena at 8 p.m. And then we have the last, but I wanted to say not least, because if y'all like summer fun, epic end of summer rooftop pool party in downtown Tampa this Saturday at the Aloft on Kennedy. It starts at 1 and it ends at 8 p.m. for all you single friends. You are having DJ Grody and DJ Tori Hollywood, which would be a lot of fun.
That sounds amazing. Thank you for all that information. And today, closing statement with 1.5 minutes. Thank you for that, Renee. That's amazing. That's our entertainment host. So listen, be a problem solver, not a divider. We're calling all the angels. Let's listen to Train by calling all angels.
Great song.
I need to know that things are gonna look up. 'Cause I feel us drowning in a sea spilled from a cup. And there is no place safe and no safe place to put my head. Where you can feel the world shake from the words that I said. And I call it all angels. And calling all you angels. I won't give up if you don't give up.
WTAN Clearwater,
FM 106.1,
WDCF Dade City,
FM 102.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Congressional Democrats have unveiled a bill that would bolster free speech protections in the wake of Charlie Kirk's killing. And Representative Ro Khanna wants the FCC